Well, Burnside's finally back on the move, but timing wasn't great. It started to rain a little bit, and now he's in a mud march. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, this week's going to open up with a little bit of gunboat action. So, yeah.
Oh, all right. More naval battle.
More naval stuff, yep. So on January 16th, the federal gunboat Baron DeKalb is going to seize guns and ammunition at Duval's Bluff in Arkansas. So we got more shit that the Confederates have. Yay. Take more of their stuff.
All right.
They don't have much.
We're scraping the bottom of their barrel.
Scraping the bottom of their barrel is correct.
Not much left.
On the 17th, Lincoln is going to sign a resolution of Congress providing for the immediate payment of the armed forces, because, I mean, that's a thing that you probably should do. But if you remember,
yes.
from earlier last year, he started creating paper money. So instead of paying them in gold coinage, we now have greenbacks. And it was supposed to be a very limited amount of greenbacks that were created, because these greenbacks aren't backed by anything but Lincoln's promise
because they're just
that
made
they
up.
are worth something. And Lincoln has found out pretty quick that has a touch of an effect on inflation. So
does it now? When you just make up a currency and just print however much you want to pay people, that affects the local economies in some way, shape, or form, and the cost of goods and services?
He's trying to put a halt on how many more notes are going to be created, but obviously soldiers have to get paid, so notes are going to be created.
He's going to stop paying them?
As of right now, Johnny, right now, the greenback's value is sitting at about $140-ish to $100 in gold. So, I mean, it's not awful, but it's not. It's definitely inflation. It's not.
I mean, you're basically paying them less money.
Yeah, almost 50% less.
Is just a pay cut. Is all they're getting. Like, is what they're seeing. Which I'm guessing, and also the cost of goods going up, and then all the death and dying going on. But at least they're being compensated less for it now.
McClernand's forces, Johnny. We're moving on for the financial news. We got McClernand's forces. Remember him? Successful last week. Well, he's now
successful in a useful operation that then he got called back from. But successful.
It wasn't.
Take
I
our
don't
wins
know if
when we
I'd
can
say
get
useful operation, but yes, it was successful. He is going to be on the move now, downriver towards Wilkinson's Bend, just outside of Vicksburg, on new orders from Grant. Vicksburg,
and he's
go to Vicksburg.
Doing it.
That's where you're supposed to be going.
And he's doing it.
He's following orders.
Hey.
On his way down there.
Good job, McClernand.
More skirmishing is going to happen with the Union expedition into Arkansas on the White River on the 18th of January. On the 19th, Burnside's forces are going to start to move across the Rappahannock again. His whole idea to recross the Rappahannock and reattack Lee has now been given the go-ahead. We are thumbs up, and he is on the move. Unfortunately, while the last couple of weeks' weather out in Fredericksburg has been sunny, sunshine, it starts to rain.
Not today.
A lot.
Of course. As soon as you start to move, right? It's
now
Murphy's Law.
His troops are marching in the mud, and his wagons are already getting stuck. So he is going to try to cross the U.S. ford 10 miles above Fredericksburg, but getting up those 10 miles is proving to be rather difficult already.
Yeah, it turns out those wagons carrying all the guns and ammo and everything are a little bit heavy. And when they dig down into those muddy trails, they're hard to get out. Golly.
Lincoln is going to address English mill workers. Lincoln is going to address English mill workers out in Manchester. That's way across the pond. He's going to write a letter out to these guys because they're bitching, saying that he understands they're suffering with the cotton shortages because these mill workers are now like, we don't have cotton, so now we're out of jobs, and you guys can't figure out your war. It's been 2 years. Can you please figure out some more so we can get some of that cotton back so we can go back to work? And
Lincoln's like, I'm trying.
Lincoln's saying, yeah, I'm trying. It's not my fault. It's, and I quote here, disloyal citizens' faults. So, you know.
Yeah, it is this belligerent nation that we had form into the southern belly of us, led by traitor President Davis, who just spews propaganda about how the war is going so well.
Yeah.
That's the problem, not us.
And if you don't
all
like
they have to
stop
do is
selling
surrender
them
their
guns.
entire lifestyles. Yeah.
There we go. On the 20th, Johnny, it's going to begin to rain some more, really putting a damper on Burnside's plans moves here, as more and more of his artillery pieces are getting stuck in the mud, and it is looking like what should have been a one-day hike is not going to be a one-day hike. It's gonna.
I mean, hard to blame him on this. I mean,
not his fault. Yeah, this is raining. You can't control the weather.
You can only do so much.
And really, the delay of him moving, you really can't blame him because he's like the day after Fredericksburg, the Battle of Fredericksburg, he said, let's go ahead again.
He tried.
And then, like, you know, everybody else is like, should we? We just, like, we lost a lot of people. And then there's this back and forth between him and General Halleck, or whether they should, whether they shouldn't, whether they should, whether they shouldn't. And then finally the approval's given, and it's a bit...
Well, will she, won't she?
It's a bit late now. Oh, and Marmaduke, remember Marmaduke, Johnny? Well, he's going to raid the city of Patterson, Missouri. So, yay, Marmaduke.
Why? Just doing it? Just
doing it to do it, I guess. Anymore? Opening up that Missouri front again. On the 21st, those rains have now turned into super, super heavy rains, grinding Burnside's movements to pretty much a halt.
How does it get worse every day? Like, give it a break. What are we doing out there? Like, come on, Mother Nature. Can't you see we got a war to fight?
To make matters worse, a federal forage train near the city of Murfreesboro, Tennessee is going to be taken by Dirty rebels, and 2 federal gunboats are going to be seized by other Dirty rebels in Sabine, Texas.
How?
So we have a day of news here.
How do we allow that to happen? I mean, what?
I don't know.
Day's
not over yet, Johnny, as Joseph E. Johnson is going to be sent by Traitor President Davis to investigate Bragg's conduct on the retreat from Murfreesboro. Traitor President Davis thinks that Bragg should not have retreated from Murfreesboro. Thought that Bragg had our troops on the Rosecrans on the ropes, which he kind of did. He did have Rosecrans back to the river.
He's not wrong. I mean, the South is never wrong when they say we shouldn't have surrendered. It just, and the North's not doing shit.
Yeah,
like we take stuff and just give it back. Like, just don't ever give up, and you'll win this. It's not that hard, guys.
Probably. At this point, it's kind of looking.
I mean, I don't want them to win, but really, just keep pretending like you're gonna keep fighting, and we'll eventually be like, we won, but we're leaving.
Yeah. Day's still not over yet, Johnny, on the 21st, with Grant receiving an explanation from Lincoln directly through telegraph on why he wanted to revoke the War Order Number 11. Basically saying, it's like, look, I don't blame you for being mad that there were, Jewish peddlers in your camp that were making havoc, and I don't blame you for thinking that there are rebel spies amongst your work, because they're sure. Naturally they're going to be, and I get you.
Yes.
I get you. But you can't say that an entire religious group of people, some of which fight for us, by the way, are no longer allowed in your zone of, you can't do that. You can't blame the entire group on a couple of bad eggs. So, so don't do that. Don't, that's why you can't do that.
Could you
don't do that.
Keep stopping? And that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's well said, Lincoln.
And in all of this, Lincoln is going to order that Major General Fitzjohn Porter be dismissed from service and forever disqualified from public office for his part in the failure at the Second Battle of Bull Run. So we're like months removed from this now.
Shit.
But yeah.
And now Lincoln's just getting mad about it.
Mad enough at
and
Porter
he's like,
to be like,
I got it.
Demoted.
I got to do something.
Porter
is not demoted.
Yeah,
your life's over, bud.
He's not even demoted. He's
you
like,
no longer can hold public office. Get the what chance does that guy have to get a job in normal society? Like he's gonna be a hobo riding on trains.
Probably. He is able to repeal this decision, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen before the war is over, because we've got more pressing things on our plate than hearing your right to fair trial.
And guess what? If we've learned one thing, Herr Lincoln does not care about your right to fair trial.
Which is a good thing, Johnny. It's a good thing. Good thing.
It's in
Good
situations where
it's necessary.
Somebody needs to take charge, and this needs to happen. He made the very good executive decision that I don't care about you or your freedoms. I will do what I want, as he should have.
As he should have, yes. And this week is going to end, Johnny, on 2 points. First, Burnside's Mud March is officially a failure, which we kind of knew that was going to be the case.
Sure.
And it's recalled on the 22nd. His men are cold, muddy, hungry, and with ammunition, cannons, and supply wagons stuck in the mud. It's now not even a matter of if they could have completed the march as much as it is, how the hell do we get our troops back to where we can get them supplies, food.
Can we please,
what they need.
Are they going to...
A bit.
Are they going to be able to bring back all those supplies? Or how many wagons are literally buried in 3 feet of mud that they just can't get out?
Yep. Trader President Davis is actually going to take note of this, write to Lee about this, and say that if they do manage to push our position and we retreat, we're going to be stuck in the same position. So, Lee, you might want to think ahead on how we can get supplies moved either in an offensive or defensive retreating stance, because this whole area is a soup bowl, and look what it did to Burnside. It could do that to us if we decide to move. So figure it out. And the final point, Johnny, that I got here is that Grant is going to gain control of all forces in Arkansas, and he's going to immediately demote McClernand from the expedition chief there in Vicksburg to the corps commander. So... seems like Grant is taking out a personal vendetta against McClernand for disobeying orders a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, here we go. That's so we'll see what happens next week to Burnside. Is he going to be punished for his mud march here by Lincoln? And do we ever get Vicksburg?